Coming up in November, of course, the big election, and one of the things you'll be deciding at the polls is who will be the new 10th District Judge. Dan Busher is running for the position, so is Tracie Tomak, and she joins us now. Good morning, Tracie.
Good morning, Tim. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, it's nice to see you again. I don't know, it's been a couple of months or so. Have you been finding enough to do?
That's a funny question. Yes, I am still out 7 days a week and meeting thousands of people. It's been a busy summer.
It does look like you've been mounting a very aggressive campaign. A lot of signs I see, and I think that a lot of people have said, "Oh yeah, she came by my house."
Good.
So
that's good. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, get out there and get the name out. That's what it's all about. How do you feel that it's going right now?
I think it's going wonderful. I have such a base of support from the community because I was born and raised here.
Harper Creek, right?
Harper Creek, those are my colors, blue and white. They have homecoming this Friday, so I expect to see a lot of people that graduated from Harper Creek, and the support just keeps growing. People that know me, that have known me and my family our entire lives, they know that I'm the right person for the bench.
Well, I guess the voters will be deciding that before too long now. When it's like about 5 weeks away or 6 weeks? Or...
If it's 43 days, if my count is right.
43 days. Okay, there you go. Your opponent has signs out that say experience matters. Tell us about your experience for the district court judgeship.
I couldn't agree more. The right experience does matter. And I believe I have that balance of experience because I didn't start out as an attorney. I was a business analyst before I went to law school, including a business process improvement analyst, which means you look at a process, you analyze it, and you streamline it, find a better way. So my entire thinking is based upon finding a better way to do things. And our court is in desperate need of finding a better way. I also, of course, have hundreds of trials under my belt in my 11 years of experience in every one of our courtrooms. And I remember speaking with our chief judge, Mike Jackinet, who told me, should I win this election, he would be comfortable with me overseeing a trial in any single courtroom on day one. And that's when I knew I was ready to take this position.
But didn't Mike endorse your opponent?
He absolutely did. And what you have to understand is they have a long history of friendship. The prosecutor's office, they work closely together. They go back 20, 30 years in some instances. And those are friendships that should support one another. And I respect that.
You talk about, using your business background to find other ways. Isn't the law pretty much black and white? I mean, either you know the law or you don't, and you uphold the law or you don't.
You uphold the law, absolutely, but how we process the cases, how the cases are moved through the system, and then also the disposition of the cases. What happens when a landlord and tenant are in front of the district court for the second, third, fourth time? Why is this a merry-go-round that just continues to go without a resolution satisfactory to both people? That's the type of creative thinking that our legal system desperately needs. The law is the law, and a judge's job is to uphold the law. But how we do that, the procedural way, we need to move along.
Let's back up just a little bit. Some people may not be familiar with how it all works. What's the difference between, what does a district court do? What does a circuit court do? What does a family court do? What's the difference here? What does the district court actually do?
The district court handles all misdemeanor crimes, and they do the screening for all felony crimes. So the criminal work is a large part of this. I have been a criminal defense attorney my entire career, which is over 11 years now. And then it also handles the landlord-tenant, the code compliance, any small claims that are moved into the district court out of small claims court, and any civil disputes under $25,000. And that has been my practice in addition to family law. Family law is heard in the circuit court, so that would not be in front of me.
How many criminal cases have you tried?
I have tried many criminal cases, but the main focus has been the family law cases. I have hundreds of trials, including jury trials in the probate court, mental health court. So my trial experience is extensive. And while it's not as long as Mr. Busher's, he's been an attorney longer and obviously tried more cases. But my experience exceeds the minimum requirements for a judge.
There was an article in the Battle Creek Inquirer that I believe quoted you saying you tried 3 criminal cases.
I've tried somewhere between 3 and 10 misdemeanor cases, but the important part of that number is the thousands of cases that I have worked on in the district court, the criminal cases. I've resolved those without a trial, and that is what really needs to be focused upon. That means I didn't have to go to trial. I was able to find the right resolution by applying the facts to the law, and I didn't have to waste the taxpayer time and money. I can resolve cases. That is critical to keep the flow in the court moving along.
Today's Monday. How many cases do you think Judge Norlander will have before him today?
Well, if he has a jury trial today, it's going to be 1. It depends on his docket. That's what's important to remember, is the district court judge's docket rotates daily. He may have 100 cases in front of him. He may never even go into the courtroom. It is so different. Some days he may not leave the courtroom. So you have to be ready to work, to adapt, to keep the cases moving. Not everything can go to a trial. If everything is a jury trial or a bench trial, our system would absolutely break down. It is the resolution of cases that we have to focus on.
Doesn't the district court, though, generally just decide arraignments and bind people over for trial in circuit court?
No. The preliminary examinations are all done in the district court, which means the district court judge must decide if there is enough evidence for a felony case to go before the circuit court.
Right.
So really, we're the screeners.
Yeah, so you might possibly, as you alluded to, you might have 800 cases before you and have to decide whether those are going to go to circuit court or whether they're going to be resolved some other way.
Absolutely, and the majority are decided between the attorneys. The attorneys will often make a resolution just to waive it up to circuit court, but when they can't reach a resolution, then they hold a preliminary examination, which is really, I like to call it a baby trial for those people that aren't familiar with the system, and then the judge decides whether or not there is enough evidence to bind it up. But that is a small percentage of the cases that go before the judge.
So is it fair to say that a district court judge sort of is almost a traffic cop in a way, streamlining the system to make sure that cases can be heard in a timely manner and that justice can be meted out in a timely and efficient manner?
As applied to the felony cases, yes. But misdemeanor crimes stay right there in the district court. They are either resolved between the attorneys or they go before the judge. But the majority are resolved.
Out of all these district court cases, and you could have 100 of them in a day, how many of those are criminal cases?
I would say the percentage of the criminal cases is probably 60%, and that's not, that's a guess, and I want to make that clear. I'm guessing because they do have a significant civil docket as well, and that's the landlord-tenant, the code compliance, the other matters. They are a variety of cases in front of the judge each day.
Yeah. So that's a lot. That is certainly a lot. We're talking with Tracie Tomak. She is candidate for 10th District Judge, running against Dan Busher. Dan will be on the radio later this week. We have seen his signs that say experience matters. And I saw a billboard for you that said the right experience with the word right emphasized. Now, why is your experience right? And that infers that his is wrong.
Well, I wouldn't say his is wrong. I think Mr. Busher has had a wonderful career as a prosecutor, and I think that that's where he should remain. My experience is right because it's more impartial. As a defense attorney, you are the defender of our Constitution. You are looking at a case to ensure that the defendant has his rights completely protected. Moving from that mindset to the impartial role of judge is a much easier step than from that of essentially a career prosecutor.
Well, he's been in private practice. He's been
Many years ago, yes.
lead partner in a practice.
He was for a few years. I've been the lead partner since I created my firm, and that's a big difference. My firm continues to grow, but the important thing is I not only have been an attorney, I'm a certified mediator, which is an intensive training to look at, again, resolving cases in the fair and impartial way, applying the facts to the law. I have been very involved in our community my entire life, not just recently, not the last couple of years, and I've never run for office before. I think that is a critical difference people need to look at. Mr. Busher has run for county commissioner, then prosecutor, and now judge. I think he's looking for a position in the community to be with his friends, who are a lot of very high-ranking political people. I'm looking to serve the people, and that's the balance and the difference that really this race comes down to.
Have any of the people in the current judicial system, judges, prosecutors, any of the police officers, law enforcement, have any of them endorsed you for this?
Yes, I've been endorsed by the Deputy Sheriff's Association of Michigan. I've been personally endorsed by many law enforcement officers, and I've also been endorsed by Judge Norlander. And that to me is the most critical endorsement, because that is his seat. He is the one retiring. Really, his endorsement is the only appropriate one, I'm going to say, because we need to maintain a working relationship in our bench, in our bar association. So him stepping down and retiring and saying, this is the person that I believe can do the work that I have been doing, that's the endorsement that mattered to me.
There were 6 or 7 judges I saw that endorsed your opponent.
Correct.
All of which have seen both you and he in action in the courtroom.
Absolutely. I have received private, personal words from each of them, and they each have told me you're absolutely qualified and we look forward to working with you should you win. But again, it's these long-term friendships, 20, 30 years friendships, and I certainly can respect needing to endorse a friend.
So you're saying that they're not endorsing him on the basis of his law expertise, just strictly on friendships?
I can't speak to why they are doing it. I know what they've said to me privately, and I know their confidence in me when I am elected.
I mean, Busher's tried with 60 criminal cases.
Yes, he has.
And you've tried 3 or 4?
Well, we're not going for a top litigator award, and that's what people need to remember. Mr. Busher has zero experience as a judge. I have 0 experience as a judge. That's what matters. You need to look at the entire person, not just their courtroom experience, because if we're going for a litigator position, that would be a whole different race. We are talking about a person who will make serious decisions about other people's lives. Is that person fair? Do they have integrity? Are they honest? Are they a person that can remove their political ties and their special interests when you are in front of them? Do you trust your life and the life of those people that you might love or your neighbors to that individual? Those are the qualities of a judge that are really important.
So where are you going to be this week?
This week, I'm going to be many different places, and I know I have something every night of the week. Next Sunday, from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, we will be doing a community door-to-door event. That's my 51st birthday. So if you're interested, please go to my website. We'd be happy to get you included in this big event. But every single day, there's something going on.
If people want to learn more about you, Tracie Tomak, what can they do?
They can go to my website, tomak4districtjudge.com. Just Google Tracie Tomak. I will pop up, and there are many different ways that you can find out about me.
All right, great. Well, no doubt we'll probably have you and Mr. Busher back again before the 43 days is up, because it's certainly one of the hot races, along with the race between Dave Morgan and Jim Hodsma for the state rep position. And then we've got all the proposals. We're trying to give people as much information as we can between now and that election day. So best of luck.
Thank you so much, Tim.